Hey, good afternoon. This is Mike Sasser, and welcome to another edition of the Health Hour right here on Lone Star Community Radio. You're listening to us today on the internet. It's www.irlongstar.com. If you want to pass along that website to your friends and family, they can listen in as well. And the Health Hour, what is it? It's a weekly talk show here, and what we talk about is just overall healthy lifestyle and how to achieve that and how to how to get to that point. We talk about nutrition, we talk about physical fitness, and we talk about just overall well-being. I like to say that it's an hour of health news for a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, and again, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. You can listen to it here on Community Lone Star Radio. Glad you're tuning in today, and by the way, if you would like to be a part of the show or send me a question or comment or anything like that, you can do that. And the easy way to do that is to go to my website. Yes, I have a website. It's www.mikesasser.com. Okay, that's MIKESASSER. Those are S's in Sam.com. Okay, and go to the webpage and click on Contact Mike, and you will be able to email me direct. Okay, from that page, you'll be able to find me on Facebook, and so you can Facebook me. Send me a post on my Facebook account, or if you're into Twitter, okay, you can tweet me on Twitter. I get those kind of mixed up sometimes, but yeah. So I have a Twitter account, and you can tweet me. It comes right to my phone here, and that way you are basically directly in contact with me and can be a part of the Health Hour with questions, comments, or hey, maybe you have a suggestion for an upcoming show. Maybe you are in the health industry. Be it a fitness person, or be it a nutritionist, anything like that. We're always looking for guests on the show, to come in and talk about healthy living here in Montgomery County and surrounding areas. We are a community radio, and so we like to serve the community. That's what it's all about. And if you're wondering what we have on the show today, well, I'm glad you're wondering what we have on the show today. First off, I am going to be have a special guest. She's going to be a call-in guest. All right, I have Dr. Deborah Michel, and she is from the Eating Recovery Center here in the Woodlands. All right, and this is a subject that I ran across. I was looking through the websites, and I ran across their website there, and it's something that I might have had at one point in my lifetime, but we're going to talk about binge eating disorder, and this is when you just go out and just like indulge in eating, and I have done that in the past, I believe. Before. I don't know that I would qualify as being clinically diagnosed or anything, but I love to eat. And come from Louisiana. We eat a lot of food. It's a social event, and so that's what we're going to talk about there. And then I have also I'm going to talk about 20 superfoods for men. And this is an article that I read from Men's Fitness, and we're always talking about superfood groups and things. So I was wondering, well, are there some maybe different foods out there for men that are classified as superfoods for overall health and nutrition? So I'm going to definitely talk about that, and we're going to get to the restaurant reports later in the show. And what is restaurant reports? Well, I get all of the health inspections from the Montgomery County health inspectors, and they go out every week into Montgomery County. They inspect the restaurants, the schools, just anywhere that there is food being prepared for public consumption. And they grade these places. So I get these reports, and I'm going to share with you some of the restaurants out there that are doing a great job. Okay? And then, another weekly segment that I do on here is I like to talk about, again, it's about health and overall health for you, your family members out there. And so I'm going to look at the weekly grocery ads. We're going to look at H.E.B. this week, and we're going to see what they have available that is on sale in their sales paper. The sales papers come out every Wednesday, and they're good from Wednesday to Tuesday. And we're going to take a look at that and see what type of healthy choices they have that are on sale this week. I'm going to share that with you and your family members there. So I think we have a pretty good health hour lined up for you today. I can't wait to get our guest on here. We're going to bring her on after the break. So that's what we're going to do. Another thing, we're getting into October, and yes, fall, and certainly the weather has changed, and that's a good thing. It's cooling off some, but it's still a little bit hot out there. And I've been last couple of weeks or so because we're not used to really talking about heat-related illness or anything like that. But it's still hot, still humid out there. I walk in the park and things like that, do little activities and stuff, and can still break a sweat. So just keep in mind if you're out there, you're working in the heat, and be sure to hydrate. Look out for your buddies, your coworkers out there that are working, and let's stay hydrated and stay safe on the job. Again, if you're out there working in the weather conditions, okay, might have a little rain coming. I'm not sure. So we've got that hurricane moving into Florida there, and also might have a little rain push this way, and cool things off a little bit better. So anyway, that's that's kind of my I guess public service announcement there for today, being look out for the heat, and keep in mind that you still can overheat when it's October. Yeah, good old Texas, right? October, Texas weather. So, okay, well, hey, that is what I have going on the Health Hour today. And, you might say, well, Mike, how did you get the Health Hour? Why are you doing a radio show? And just to let you know a little bit about me, I mean, you might be tuning in for the first time. You might know me. You might be, it might be your first time to tune in. And I'm a local author. I live here in Montgomery County in the Lake Conroe area, and I wrote a book called Simple, Inexpensive, Painless Weight Loss, and that book is really my true story. Again, talking about binge eating, which we have a topic coming up today. I love to eat, and always have all my life, and I have struggled with being overweight pretty much all my life. And about 2.5 years ago, I decided to make a change and do something about it. I didn't want to get on diet pills and plans and that type of stuff. So I did a lot of study on nutrition and activities, and put together this book. First off, I did it. I lost the weight, and then I wrote a book and put it out there, published it. It's on Amazon and my website as well, and so you can go out and take a look at it. So that's how I got here, and I've since published a second book in work-related safety. So I'd like to just talk about things here that is about health and safety and overall well-being for the community. So that's what I have coming up today. That is what the Health Hour is all about today. And I tell you what, I think we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we come back, like I said, I have a special guest, Dr. Deborah Michel is going to be here with us on the phone, and we're going to be talking about binge eating. So come on back for a little bit more of the Health Hour.
I know you know this already, but most of the shows on Lone Star Community Radio are available in podcast format. If you want to keep up with the latest shows, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lone Star Community Radio, and our website at irlonestar.com. You can even follow us on SoundCloud and Twitter to see the latest posts from Lone Star Community Radio. Can't find a show? Then just search for it on irlonestar.com in the search bar to the top right of every page. Or just contact us on irlonestar.com/contact us with your questions, demands, sponsorships, anything. Lone Star Community Radio is your Montgomery County community radio station.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour, and so glad you're listening today on a Wednesday. The Health Hour every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Lone Star Community Radio, and we are in downtown Conroe. This is a live show, by the way. Yeah, sitting in the studio today, checking things out around here because it's changing. The studio is changing, got new stuff, new equipment in here. And what am I talking about? Guess what? We are going FM. Not long from now, we'll be FM. You can find us at FM 104.5 or FM 106.1, and that way you'll be able to listen to us in your car, on your boat, in your motor, on your motorcycle. Hey, wherever you have FM, So right now you might be listening to us on the internet, and that is cool as well. We'll still be on the internet as well as FM, and with the internet you can listen anywhere. I mean, I have some family members that listen in Louisiana. I have friends, in Canada, wherever. I mean, wherever they have internet, they can listen to the Health Hour, and you can too. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Again, a Health Hour is an hour of health news for a healthy lifestyle. Okay, and today, I tell you what, I have a special guest. She is calling in, and her name is. I am pulling it up right now, and here we go. Her name is Deborah Michel, Dr. Deborah Michel, okay, and she is with the Woodlands Eating Recovery Center, actually the Eating Recovery Center in the Woodlands, all right, and today we're going to be talking about the topic of binge eating, and so, Dr. Michel, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mike. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Number one, I want to say thank you for taking the time out and spending a little time with us on the Health Hour here today. And as I said earlier in the first segment there, I was looking through websites and things, and we talk about nutrition and just overall health and well-being on the show. And I ran across this binge eating disorder. Quite frankly, I didn't know that was an issue out there, or diagnosed issue. So, got in touch with you, and you made some time to be on the show. So again, thank you for being here, Deborah.
You're absolutely welcome, and I very much appreciate the timeliness of you doing the show. We are very interested here at Eating Recovery Center about reaching out to the community, providing education on eating disorders. I've been doing that for years here, as well as just throughout my career. So I was formally founded the Woodlands Eating Disorder Center and partnered with Eating Recovery Center. And as a result of that partnership, which was about a year ago, we've been able to expand dramatically, and we've moved on to the beautiful St. Luke's campus in the Woodlands.
Nice.
And so we offer expanded services for the treatment of all eating disorders, including binge eating disorder.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, good deal. I guess first off, I'm looking at your website, and www.eatingrecoverycenter.com. And there's just tons of information on there, but I'm kind of zeroing in here on the binge eating disorder. And first off, Deborah, let's just talk about maybe the causes, psychological causes, and I see here also cultural, obesity plays into this role, which is a major epidemic now here in America.
Yes, and just to define for maybe some of the listeners that aren't familiar with binge eating disorder, I know one of the questions that I get really is how do we define binge eating disorder? So when we think of binge eating disorder clinically, what we use for diagnostic criteria is an individual's eating an unusually large amount of food. Often it's very rapid eating. It's often done secretly, really larger amounts than the average individual would eat in a discrete period of time. And that usually occurs about at least once a week for about 3 months. Okay. And with that, along with that, the person feels a sense of loss of control over the eating. They may feel a lot of guilt or shame or embarrassment associated with that. So that is how we, in fact, diagnose what binge eating disorder is. So back to the causes, what we know is there's really no single reason. It's really a complex interplay of factors. So we know that some individuals are genetically and biologically vulnerable to eating disorders, including binge eating disorder. So we have that aspect. We may see it run in families, different types of eating disorders. We also know there are certain psychological characteristics that contribute, such as individuals that may have low self-esteem or may be very perfectionistic or have a high need for control. So those are some factors that also come into play.
Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, there are cultural factors. We are very obsessed with weight in our culture. Right. You're right in that we're seeing larger numbers in terms of percentages of obesity in our country, yet at the same time, we really overvalue thinness. We're a culture that's really obsessed with looking a certain way. So these things factor in together. They play in together for the development of an eating disorder such as binge eating disorder.
Okay, yeah. Again, I never really thought about that, but a lot of the magazines, they're targeting teenagers, women in particular,
Yes.
with all these thin models, and that's the image that everybody thinks that they need to achieve to feel good about themselves nowadays.
And often very unrealistic images. So the discrepancy of what average individuals look like, boys and men included, compared to what they see in societal images, there's a large discrepancy. So you can imagine that someone who is already struggling with how they feel about themselves in terms of feeling like they measure up in some way and their self-esteem, how that serves to actually worsen how they feel about themselves. And so the way in which they then learn to cope is through the use of food and binge eating for those that have binge eating disorder.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess I talk kind of lightheartedly about this sometimes, but I'm from Louisiana, and we definitely like to eat, and I've actually struggled with my weight most of my life, and I went to mainly nutrition to be able to finally get my weight under control, lose weight, and to maintain it and to keep it off, and also. But I would have to say, sometimes I was reading through this, I said, wow, that almost fits my description. Except I don't fit the pattern, if you will. So you actually see a pattern when we're talking about binge eating, and this is ongoing for about 3 months. That is a clinical
at minimum clinically. Now, certainly that doesn't mean to say, Mike, that we see individuals that certainly struggle with this problem. They may not actually meet all of those criteria, but they still suffer clinically from an eating disorder. Perhaps it doesn't meet all the criteria yet, but we are still able to effectively intervene and help those individuals. And that's really the great news, is that help is available. We know that millions of individuals in the U.S. suffer from eating disorders. About 8% of the general population will suffer from binge eating disorder in their lifetime. And so when you consider how large of a nation we are, that is very substantial. You mentioned your own journey of weight loss. We know that about 30% of those that actually go to weight loss clinics to lose weight struggle with binge eating disorder.
Okay. Yeah. And like you said, that's 8%, but with the population, that turns into a large number.
Yes, millions.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yes.
So about 20 million women, about 10 million men, according to the National Eating Disorders Association, suffer from some type of eating disorder in their lifetime.
Wow. Yep. And that's why I felt like, again, I didn't, I ran across the website and I felt like, this is something that maybe a lot of people out there do not know. And so it's so good to get this information out there, Deborah.
Absolutely.
And so looking at, I've clicked on here, and by the way, your website is fantastic. It's very easy to navigate, and so I clicked on binge eating disorder symptoms, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you see, as far as symptoms and what you look for.
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned, individuals that suffer from binge eating disorder, they do eat an unusually large amount of food, usually within a short, discrete period of time. And often the food that they consumed is what we call highly palatable foods. For some individuals, it may be cakes and cookies, breads, carbohydrates. Sometimes it can be full meals that they will consume at one point, perhaps more than one. But again, there's a lot of guilt and shame around this behavior. There's a sense of a loss of control, that they cannot help themselves. And oftentimes what individuals will report to me is a feeling of numbing out when they do this. It kind of distracts them, soothes them in some way, or fills some void. So when we begin to talk about treatment, not only do we address behaviorally what's happening and trying to stop the binge eating behavior and really normalize eating patterns, but we also look to the underlying issues in terms of what's going on with that individual and teaching them effective, healthy coping methods mechanisms so that they no longer need to turn to food in order to deal with what's happening in their lives.
Right, and it's been my experience, and I'm sure you see that as well, as many times people eat for emotional issues that are going on in their life, stress, certainly, and that type of stuff. Okay.
Yes, and as part of treatment, and by the way, for those that may be listening and they're concerned about themselves or someone they know, we do offer free assessments for individuals who have a question, if they qualify for treatment, if they qualify for a diagnosis of binge eating disorder. We do offer that free of charge.
Excellent.
With a master's level clinician, and I can provide that information if you would like before we end today. But we have what we call a multidisciplinary team that works with individuals. And so what that means is they have physicians that are working with them, psychiatrists, psychologists, registered dietitian, as well as therapists. So we use a very holistic, integrated approach so that, again, we're trying to normalize one's relationship with food, their relationship with their body, as well as help them identify and be able to effectively cope with emotions, uncomfortable emotions, situations in their lives that may be stressful for them.
Excellent. That is good information, Deborah. I appreciate that. Looking at, so we find some symptoms, you find the diagnosis. Can you share with us some of the health risks that are associated with binge eating disorder?
Yes, and certainly when an individual has been binge eating for a certain length of time, it's not unusual to see weight gain. And as I mentioned earlier, that we know about 30% of those that present to weight loss clinics for weight loss struggle with binge eating disorder. So we know that obesity can also be a result of that. So naturally then, the different health risks that are associated with obesity we may see in this population as well. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, type 2 diabetes. However, saying that, it's important for me to mention that not all the individuals that we see with binge eating disorder actually are overweight. So that an individual may be a normal weight but still suffer from binge eating disorder. So we do know that you cannot tell by simply looking at someone whether or not they have this illness.
Okay, so this can be, I guess you could say a closet illness, if you will. People hide this much like some people hide, say, alcohol and that type of stuff. Okay, and that goes right in, hand in hand. If you are overweight, and I am speaking from experience, my own experience. When I was overweight, I had high blood pressure issues. I had high cholesterol issues, where my doctors were wanting to put me on medications and things like that and stuff. So that was part of the drive that led me to find my way to a successful weight loss. And so if anybody out there is listening and you're having these type of issues, I would say definitely get in touch with Deborah and her team, and get some help. Learn about this stuff.
And the great news, Mike, is that binge eating disorder is very treatable. Full recovery is possible, and certainly these health risks that we just discussed are many times reversible when individuals are able then to recover from their binge eating disorder and they're leading a healthy life. We can see this reversed in many people. And
that's a good point. Again, speaking from experience, after I lost my weight, I just had my blood test done a couple months ago. Cholesterol's in line, blood pressure is good, so it is completely reversible. Absolutely. Good point, Deborah. As far as treatment, I guess, and I'm kind of just moving down the list here and on your website.
Yes.
But as far as treatment, can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned before, we have the multidisciplinary treatment team, so medical individuals, psychological, dietary as well. So what treatment looks like is that we offer both group groups to learn effective coping skills as well as individual psychotherapy in our programs. Also working with a registered dietitian who specializes in the treatment of eating disorders is also part of the team, works individually with the patient. And what we do is the folks that work with us, they actually have meals with us. So not only do they get an individualized meal plan from the dietitian that they assist in the development of that meal plan, but they are also here having meals with us so that we're able to provide support in real time to them in terms of learning how to normalize their eating patterns, and then also to help them cope and deal with the emotions that often come forth as they're going through this process. So with many individuals that we see, it's not unusual that they may have a degree of anxiety or some difficulty with depression, certainly just stressors in their lives that we're going to be helping them with. But they go through, in our intensive program, it is 9 to 12 hours of treatment, up to 12 hours. And then we also, for individuals whose symptoms are more severe, we have a 7-day-a-week partial hospitalization program. So they are with us for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they have all meals and all groups and therapies here at the center with us.
Okay, so in a sense, you're learning the, I guess, I don't know if correct way to eat is the way to put it, but you're learning new eating skills, new eating habits, healthier eating habits.
Yes, we really work on the behavioral part of normalizing the eating patterns. Oftentimes we'll see individuals who may be binging, and when they're not binging, they may be in a more restrictive pattern where they're not actually eating that much at all and trying to diet. We see that very frequently. So what we do is we help them to normalize their eating throughout the day so that physically and psychologically it lessens the likelihood that they have urges to binge. But certainly we provide a great deal of psychological treatment all day long, both in a group format as well as individually, for them to be able to learn more effective ways to deal with emotions, deal with stressors, and just to deal with uncomfortable circumstances that otherwise might lead them to turn to food and trigger binge eating.
Okay, well, Deborah, this is all wonderful information, and I think this is a great service, and then even more so, I think it's a great service that is right here in our community, right here in the Woodlands and everything. So, I really appreciate you taking the time out today to be on the show and to share all this with everyone. I'm going to give out the website again. It's www.eatingrecoverycenter.com, located there in the Woodlands. And do you have a phone number for?
I do. If anyone listening is interested in a free assessment or just to speak with a master's level clinician about our program, her name is Monica Segura, and you can reach her directly at 713-264-3717.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Dr. Michel, again, thank you so much. And I hope that somebody out there listening contacts you, and if they're having some issues with this, that you guys can help them out.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate being on the show, and I appreciate you doing this very important topic.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deborah, and you have a great day. And thanks. And by the way, this will be a podcast, so I'll let you know when that comes up, and you can share that with your friends, coworkers, and family as well.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. And to the listeners as well.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was Dr. Deborah Michel, and she is with the Eating Recovery Center, and I'm so glad she was on the show today. So we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with a little bit more Health Hour right here on Lone Star Community Radio. Come on back.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or Have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour. I'm Mike Sasser, the host of the Health Hour. It's the weekly show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on Lone Star Community Radio. And if you're listening today, you're probably listening on www.irlonestar.com. You can soon be listening on the FM dial at 104.5 or 106.1. That's right. We are going FM, going big time around here. That's going to be great. Good news. Good to hear. So the Health Hour every Wednesday. And by the way, if you would like to be part of the Health Hour, if you have a question or comment, maybe a suggestion for the upcoming show, you are more than welcome to contact me. And you can do that directly at my website, which is MikeSasser.com. Of course, that's www.MikeSasser.com. Go to my website. I have a Contact Mike page. That way you can email me direct. You can post on my Facebook page. Let me know what you think about the show. Or you can tweet me on Twitter and send me a tweet. Let me know what you got. Questions. Hopefully I have some answers. We'll try to come up with them, all right? Today's show is rolling along, and here is something that I found that is it was an article presented by Men's Fitness, okay? And I thought, well, we're always talking about nutrition and things like that, and so let's see what's out there for men in particular. And so this article that I ran across is 20 of the best superfoods for men. And I know that I've talked about superfoods on the show quite often, and it's these are foods that are very dense in nutritional value and just antioxidants, the omega-3s, for as the good fats and things. So these are foods that are just really good for you. And it's really easy to fit into your diet, fit into your meal plan, if you will. And so as I read through this article and kind of compared it to my notes of what I have written in my book about superfoods and the list, there's a lot of them that are on the same list. They're very much good for everybody. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this article and what's good for men out there. So the first one on the list, and this is no big surprise at all, okay, is almonds. All right. Almonds carry about 82 calories per a half-ounce serving. And basically, that's kind of like a little just a handful of almonds. And I used to use this as a afternoon snack or mid-morning snack. It's a kind of a great pick-me-up there. And so you're not overloading yourself with calories, and you're getting a lot of nutritional value. Mainly, again, is loaded with the healthy unsaturated fats. Okay, so it's good for you, and they have protein as well. So almonds is on the list, okay, as superfoods. All right. The next one, and this is one that I eat quite a bit of this, but it's a turkey breast. All right. Turkey breast, the white meat, 72 calories, all right, per 3-ounce serving. And when you say 3 ounce, and that's what's recommended as far as protein intake at any one sitting, is 3 to 4 ounces. And again, you don't have to go out and buy one of these fancy kitchen gadgets or anything. You just measure that by basically the palm of your hand, and it will be about the size of protein. And that doesn't go for just turkey breast. You can do that also with any type of protein, for beef, chicken. That's going to give you your basic serving size on protein. So the turkey is good. It's good. It's high in vitamin B as well. The vitamin B the B vitamins help you burn off energy, helps your metabolism run. So turkey breast is on the list. Okay, all right. Again, 20 superfoods for men. All right. Olive oil. Olive oil is, I have to say, okay, first off, it's 119 calories per tablespoon. All right. Recommended have 2 tablespoons per day. This is news to me. I didn't really know that. But again, it's good in these healthy fats for you. I see a lot of articles and read a lot of things about olive oil, and especially extra virgin olive oil. I begin to cook with it a little bit more nowadays versus the the spray pan type stuff, and it works really well. And again, it's so easy to fit into your meal plan. And hey, I've tried it on salads as well. Just put a little olive oil on it, and you're good to go. Another superfood for men that we're talking about, and again, these foods are good for everyone. I'm finding that this list is almost universal, but green tea. 2 calories per cup of green tea. And again, we have talked about it before, but it's almost in every weight loss article that I read that green tea is good for you. It helps in a lot of different illnesses, and for us fighting medical illnesses and things. So there's a lot of studies out there that green tea is good for you, and it's a superfood. So, have yourself some green tea in the afternoon. It's a pick-me-up. I will tell you that. Better for you than in the afternoon. Better for you than coffee. I know a lot of people drink coffee in the afternoon. I drink it in the morning. So green tea, hey, that could be your afternoon pick-me-up, and you are tapping into a superfood group. And another one. Now, this is one of my favorites. Okay, is black beans. Black beans, 227 calories per cup. All right. The article's recommending that you eat 2 servings per week. I probably fall into that, and I tell you, I like the black beans, as a side dish, but I like to mix them in with I mix them in with my eggs in the morning sometimes. They're just, I don't know, it's just something really good about them. Beans in general are number one, they're a protein source. Okay, so let's say maybe you don't eat a lot of meat products and things like that. Well, beans can be your protein source there. All right. Share with you a quick little tip on black beans. First off, the best as far as you want to try to keep sodium out of your diet, low sodium. And if you're eating canned goods, you're going to have a lot of sodium in those canned goods, and beans are included in that. All right. But so look for low sodium choices in canned foods if it's available. Okay. If you want to completely cut out sodium, then you get the dry beans. But the problem is you have to soak these beans overnight, and there's some time to prepare them and things like that. So think about convenience factor. Get the canned beans. This is what I do. Get the canned beans, the low sodium. Okay, I put them in a strainer, and I rinse them with cool water. Kind of wash all that the sauce or liquid from them. And when I do that, I am actually removing even more of the sodium, so you can have the low sodium there. So black beans is a superfood for men that's on the list. Okay. Moving right along, and again, one of my favorites, I was so glad to see this, is the egg, the edible, incredible egg. 74 calories per large egg, and it recommends eating 3 to 7 eggs per week. And that just made me happy because, I love eggs for breakfast. There's even sometimes I'll make an egg for dinner, for dinner. I like to boil eggs and have them on hand because, again, you're trying to make these superfoods, these healthy choices as convenient as possible. If they're convenient, chances are you're going to eat more of them. And so that's some ways you can work the egg into your diet. And moving on down the line is another favorite of mine is milk. I like milk, 118 calories per cup, and recommended about 3 servings of dairy per day. Milk is good for you. And I say put it in your diet. Another one, beef. Okay, again, we're talking about superfoods for men, and this is from the Men's Fitness. Okay, beef, 163 calories per 3-ounce serving. All right, they're suggesting 3 to 4 servings per week, and again, you can use that same palm of your hand trick to come up with your proper serving size there. Good. All right, and soy, 300 calories per cup, and we're talking about soybeans. If you want to get fancy and you're into sushi, then we're talking about edamame. You go out to almost any sushi restaurant, you can get edamame, and soy is actually good for you. It has fiber, a lot of fiber content in soybeans, so they are putting that on the superfood group, which is pretty cool. Next is yogurt, 154 calories per cup, and something I want to caution you about is yogurt, and again, not is sugar. Okay, sugar is another thing you want to reduce or cut down in your diet. It's recommended 25 grams of sugar per day. It's about 6 tablespoons or teaspoons of sugar, tablespoons. So if you buy the yogurt that is already flavored, already has the fruit juices in it and everything, read the nutrition label, because you're going to find that one little cup of yogurt, that one serving of yogurt, can have an entire day's worth of sugar in it. So just caution you on that if you like yogurt. But certainly there's a lot of benefits to plain Greek yogurt. You can add your own strawberries or blueberries to it, and then that way you're getting a natural sugar, and you're also controlling the amount of sugar that you're adding to your yogurt. So that, just some tips there on yogurt. Okay, another one, and this is no surprise whatsoever. Water. Number one, no calories in water. Number two, they're sticking with the 8-ounce glasses per day. That's not really too much. I used to keep a bottle of water on my desk and just refill it through the day and go on with it. So it was good. It was very good. Moving on, I've got one more here. I think we're going to go to break after this, but and this again is another one of my favorites. Is spinach. 7 calories per cup. I mean, that is a cup of spinach is pretty good size. So you could eat a pretty large portion of spinach, and you don't have to worry about calories. Okay, they're saying eat 2 to 3 servings per week. All right, and it's loaded again with fiber, calcium, and beta carotene. So it's a green, it's superfood, and it's good for you. So I'm going to come back with some more on the list here, and we'll take a break, pay a few bills around here, and so hey, come on back to the Health Hour.
Want to check out what it's like to be on the radio? Need credit for school? For an internship? Then contact Dick online at dick@irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are here to be part of the community.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour. Mike Sasser here, your host of the Health Hour, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., a 1-hour show here on Lone Star Community Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I am talking about the 20 superfoods for men. And this article comes from Men's Fitness. I'm sure you can Google that and find all this information out. So moving on, all right, with the list here, and we're talking about foods that are good for you. They're high density of vitamins and nutritional value, as well as just antioxidants and that type of stuff. It's the superfood group. So the other one is whole wheat bread. That's certainly no surprise there. Over the white enriched flour bread. And then broccoli. Broccoli is on the list. Broccoli is they're saying 31 calories per cup. That's again pretty good size serving. You can eat a lot of broccoli. All right, and they're suggesting 2 to 3 half-cup servings per week. Again, fiber, vitamin C, it's all good for you. Another one, oatmeal. You might start your day with some oatmeal. Again, you might want to get the cut, oats versus the ones with all of the different additives in there, like cinnamon and all that. You can always put your own natural flavorings in your plain yogurt, your plain oatmeal as well. Another one, and this is a favorite of mine, is sweet potatoes is on the list, and I love sweet potatoes. Have a quick, easy tip for you on sweet potatoes is you bake them. Okay, I know it takes 45 minutes or so to bake them, or maybe a little longer, but you bake them and then wrap them in aluminum foil and freeze them. So now, when you get ready for a baked potato, a sweet potato, you pull it out, you let it thaw, and now you're talking about you can either heat it in the microwave, heat it in a little small toaster oven in a matter of minutes, and you have baked potato. So there you go. Tomatoes is on the list as well. Tomatoes is another great superfood for men, as well as anybody. That's just what it is. Blueberries, another one of my favorites. Again, a great additive from everything from salads to yogurt. To just eat a handful of them rather than eating a handful of M&Ms. I mean, that's good for you. And then second one is a fatty fish. Salmon is a great choice. All right, you want to try to stay with the wild-caught salmon, if you will, and stay with a 3-ounce serving. Again, we talked about how do you do that? You measure it out in the palm of your hand there. So that is the 20 superfoods for men, and again, you can find this at Men's Fitness. Just Google it, and it'll pop up. I'll put this link on the podcast that you'll be able to find as well. Okay. So there you go. All right. I'm going to take a quick look at the restaurants there today that were inspected last week. And here, matter of fact, I'm going to stick with just the positive ones. Okay, the ones that scored 100%. And first off, there's Go Cajun Subs on Sawdust there in the Woodlands. All right, scored 100% when the inspectors are out there. I thought this was interesting. This is not a restaurant, but if your children go to the Montgomery ISD schools, independent school district there, guess what? They get inspected as well. And so I picked up on this in Montgomery ISD, their daycare, their elementary, their junior high, and middle school all scored 100%. So, hey, those folks out there are doing a great job keeping things up on the up, keeping things clean and serving good meals. Nutritious meals and healthy meals to your kids that are out there going to those schools and stuff. So, congratulations to them. And you know what? I have Dick here is telling me I'm about to run out of time. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. On my Facebook this week, I am going to post a link for the H.E.B. ads. Okay, you'll be able to go to my Facebook at just go to MikeSasser.com and click on Contact Mike, and it'll take you right to my Facebook. And I'll have a posting down there for all of the weekly ads at H.E.B. that have some healthy choices. So take a look at that. Next week we're going to be talking about a little physical fitness on the Health Hour. So have a great week out there. Take care of yourself, and hey, eat healthy, get a little activity in your life, and have a happy and healthy lifestyle. And talk to you next week. Thanks.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@iRLoneStar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.